All right. Let's do some more Rebirth Island.
Get yourself sorted. We'll be deployed shortly.
Alright then. This would be a full team as well.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
To the top of this thing. Put a claymore here in case anybody wants to come in. So that you get blown up as soon as they try to enter. Change guns.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
No.
Playtime's over, mate. You're going to the war zone.
Right then.
Battle Royale.
Okay, we'll go there.
Closing in. Spot looks good. Safe zone.
Got a vehicle. Clear.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Alright, I'm going from the bottom because at the top they will start landing there. In fact, on the side I think is a better idea.
Targets are up. Get to work.
But there's barely any. Oh, yeah, this gun's actually decent. Right.
Interstate.
Wow, is that possible? How is it possible? You shoot this guy and you shoot him like, you know, and he doesn't die? You see him first and you still die with the gun that close range? Man. And they took our money too. Man, I think there's a game that makes me rage more than this game. It's just so... It's a frustrating experience, this. That door is open, which means that place has been looted. Okay, let's see if that area's...
Enemy UAV overhead.
Yeah. Crap. Jeez. We're not getting lucky in these lobbies.
I'll take the wheel.
Just take both, bro. Take both. Take that one.
Check your fire, pendejo.
Nobody really ever comes here. Don't wanna get spotted here.
Gas is
There's
closing in. Enemy UAV
these sweaty
overhead.
guys who come for you. Okay, I think we have enough money for a loadout, but where are we even gonna buy the loadout?
Buy station located.
Hostiles in the area.
Fuck no. Okay. Please. So you wanna try that one?
Buy station located. I'll fly this thing.
Ah, man. Not a chance. It looks like that guy left. Honestly, I don't blame him. This game is so rage-inducing.
Nicely done.
You know.
Enemy UAV overhead.
He's gone.
Loadout drop inbound. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Gas is closing in.
Where did he from? Where? Why was he not? Why was this guy not doing anything to shoot him?
Moving here.
Ah, bro.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Please get him. Ah, of course. Ah, man. I just feel like rage quitting and just leaving this.
Fire.
The problem with being third party in this game, man. It is infuriating. And the lower ping you have, the worse it is, actually.
Mark the hostile. Mark the hostile.
Wow. Both of you guys. Really, really. Wow. What is even the point? Let's go this side here. I'm pretty sure we're gonna die again. Dude.
Enemy hostile fire.
Okay, anybody camping the loadout? That's usually the case. Ah! Of course you're camping the loadout.
Losing ground.
I expect nothing less from you.
Hostile dropping into the area. 25 remain.
What a ah, man. It was a rigged game from the start. The SPMM kicked in. Oh, newsflash, turns out WhatsApp is not as secure as Zuckerberg claimed it would. It's run by Facebook. You know, I don't really expect anything more from WhatsApp. It's just that it's been used a lot, so
Holding for
you know,
deployment. Now's a good
people
time
just
to
find it
fall
very
back.
hard to move to something else. But I don't doubt that WhatsApp really does some dirty tricks to get our information. I don't doubt it's not one bit. So is any company, to be honest, but I do like Apple because it actually tries to put up privacy forward. WhatsApp used to be like that until Facebook acquired it.
Warm-up start. Time to kick this off.
We'll be landing, boys. I do like landing here, so we can try here. If not there, then I don't know where else.
You've got gas closing in fast. Get to the safe zone.
Moving up.
Okay, so why the sudden change in the landing spot now? I think it's because they're teammates. Probably in the same party. If they die, good for them.
Alright lads, let's get it done. Friendly UAV overhead.
Contact front.
Enemy soldier incoming. Enemy team is tracking your position.
Where are these enemies?
Okay, found the vendor. Stock up if you need.
Well, it's gonna be very hard to move here, bro.
Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Come in, get in here, bro.
Got movement here. Taking rounds. Enemy UAV overhead. Watch the skies. We've got gas moving in.
Lol.
Okay, found the vendor. Stock up if you need.
What? Are you kidding me? I can't purchase it. You have to purchase it.
Jackpot. Cash here.
Wow. So if you have dead silence, you can't. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
You've got a loadout drop inbound. Enemy UAV overhead.
How fuck do you get up there? Oh, how did you?
Enemy lost track of you. You're safe.
Alright.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the sky.
No!
Friendly UAV overhead.
LMG right here.
Gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
They're lighting me up.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Contact. Frag out.
Ah, shit, that was a bit too far.
I'm under fire.
Damn. Wow! This was the fucking was the yes! One of them got caught by my fucking shit. Man. What is this nonsense? Who sues a bride for kicking them out of a bridal party? Kind of nonsense is that? China's privacy laws? What? China's privacy laws? That is surprising. Really worried about China's influence on Africa. You know.
Get yourself the proper
But I
warm-up.
guess the other side of the list is the lesser of two evils, I suppose. Or they just all evil. I don't know. I just think Africa should have gotten to the point of self-sustaining now, but somebody decided when we don't deserve it in some way, shape, or form, I guess.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Lol. Yeah.
Enemy soldier incoming.
We're going straight back there. I'm going to find that idiot. He's still back there. I'm gonna get you. What the hell is that? Damn it, someone else got him.
Start warming up. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Really? There's only two of us? Why? Oh, it's the matchmaking going haywire again. Let's see. Oh, we're good. Okay.
Drop point for your team.
We'll land where we always land here.
Closing in
Easy
fast.
mark.
Get to the
Prepare
safe
for
zone.
jump.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Waypoint marked.
Ah.
Coordinates marked.
Why are they not dropping out? You gotta drop out of the airplane. Oh man.
All targets in the AR. Clock ticking. Get to the target.
How the fuck could that happen? Deleting my entire armor when I've got a machine gun. You see, this is one of those inconsistencies with this game. Huh? can you delete my armor and I just shot you with a machine gun and you've got a pistol? Ridiculous.
Work through the
Enemy
pain.
team is hunting you. Stay alert.
Alright. Let's see what's up here. Hopefully I don't get sniped. Okay, doesn't look like there's anything up here. Oh man. Some armor at the top there. I have to use that armor plate.
Enemy UAV
Damn
overhead.
it, they've already been here. It's been looted dry. I want that gun.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Tracking contract objective.
I think it's a good idea to take this down. Very useful.
Gas is moving. Contract time expired. Stand down.
Hostile operator.
There are 24 enemies still out there. Kill them all. Enemy UAV overhead.
All friendlies in the safe zone.
What are we doing here? We don't have money enough for anything.
Enemy UAV overhead.
We have close to enough money, but
AR over here.
who's shooting that guy? Dude.
Contact! Contact!
Loadout drop headed your way. Victory rests on your shoulders. Finish the
Ah, crap.
Got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Sighting in on care package.
Taking shots here.
Are you kidding me? So wait, he just knew I was there? He just knew I was there? How? How? Nah, these guys play this game way too much, man. Go do something. Jesus. What the hell? Fuck. How did he even know I was there? I wasn't even walking that fast. Damn. All right. No.
Bounty target is down. Well done.
Hostile maneuvering.
What do you want it for, bro? Ah, man.
Friendly UAV overhead.
Shit. I needed
Marking waypoint.
ammo.
Losing ground.
Honestly, I don't even use that much. This thing could be even more useful.
Enemy UAV
What the
overhead.
hell was he doing there by himself? I do need ammo.
I need mid-caliber rounds.
Take that item.
I can't take any more. I can't take anything.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Yeah.
Fire sale is active. Buy station costs are adjusted. Enemy UAV overhead.
Take that.
Located a bounty contract.
Tango. Contact front.
Fire sale done. Prices are back to normal. Enemy soldier incoming. We've got gas moving in.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Head to target location.
Grenade out!
Never mind.
What are you doing?
Enemy soldier incoming. You're being tracked by an
Target
enemy team.
location.
Stay sharp.
Cancel that.
Drop that asshole!
Oh man, I dropped him, but kinda out of ammo here.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Getting lit up! Grenade out!
Enemy soldier incoming. To the left. Keep the pressure on.
Yeah.
Your team is KIA. It's up to you. Ground. 5 remaining.
Yeah!
Oh man, there's nothing here.
incoming. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located. They're losing ground.
Oh crap!
Gotta find medical.
Ah shit!
1 of 5 remaining.
Ah damn, man.
The proper team.
Ah, I almost had that, man. Damn. That was such a sweaty game. I almost had that. Damn. Damn. Okay. Still gonna take a short break here. Oh, I'm not going to. I'm going to. Okay, then I tell you. Then afterwards, the older one, then move. But you can get out of there, please. Look on the Lord. You're going to get it again. It seems like the higher time. That's the thing before. But what did they just did? Simple fact that I was here, I hate it. That simple fact. Almost assured. My winning. That there was no, you should have first all this, no. It's abuse. Take it, I understand. So I didn't have that's all. Go good. I was really feeling that. Don't follow. Take things because you don't think you get ready. You know, the movement might make you feel. But that movement is very big. Just sat to the game. You can see. I He's bad, like you.
Can the European Union defend itself? Its leader says the bloc should increase its military capabilities and not rely so much on US-led NATO. But what's holding it back from achieving that goal? This is Inside Story. Hello there and welcome to the programme. I'm Nastasia Tay. Now, many European leaders have long pushed for a bigger military role, one that's independent of the US-led NATO alliance. The need for this increased military capability was recently made clear during the chaotic evacuations from Kabul airport. European nations had to rely almost entirely on the United States. Now, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says the bloc needs the political will to stand on its own. She says the EU should be able to deploy a military force without relying on the US or NATO. But many in Europe have strongly rejected the idea of an active European military force, while others say the time has come for Europe to increase its military presence.
That our European Union is a unique security provider. There will be missions where NATO or the United Nations will not be present, but where Europe should be. You can have the most advanced forces in the world, but if you're never prepared to use them, of what use are they? What has held us back until now is not just a shortfall of capacity, it is the lack of political will.
Well, the NATO Secretary General warned earlier this month an EU defence force should not stretch NATO resources. Jens Stoltenberg said, "We welcome more EU efforts on defence, but that cannot replace NATO. It should not duplicate NATO because we have one set of forces and we have scarce resources." Well, earlier this month, EU ministers debated creating a 5,000-troop force to deploy during emergencies. That plan faces opposition from some EU countries that are also members of NATO, particularly those bordering Russia. In 2007, so-called battle groups of 1,500 soldiers drawn from each member state were created but never actually used. Low defence spending among European countries is seen as a major obstacle to the continent's military independence. European NATO members spent 1.64% of their GDP on military expenditure last year. That's well below the alliance's 2% target. Now, Germany and France, though, are amongst the biggest spenders. They both increased their military budgets last year. Well, let's bring in our guests now. In Brussels, we have Teresa Fallon, the director of the Centre for Russia, Europe, Asia Studies. In Washington, D.C., David DeRoche, associate professor at the National Defense University and also a former NATO operations director at the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Also in Brussels, Nicholas White, an international
This episode was made in collaboration with Ugopnik. Be sure to check out their video after this. If you were born at any point after the 80s, odds are the entirety of your lived experience has been one of crisis. For people my age, our formative years were filled with the consequences of US activity. Our earliest memories include 9/11 and the invasion of Iraq under false pretenses. Then we had the 2008 housing crash, the realization that climate change was nearing a point of no return, the acceleration of suicidal deregulation and privatization, which has left our infrastructure weak and fragile, the skyrocketing cost of tuition, saddling young people who were told college was the only way to succeed with insurmountable debt and increasingly worthless degrees. We've seen the birth and rapid rise of the gig economy, relegating huge portions of the population to precarity and poverty. And of course, we've watched our COVID response become the worst in the world, despite having advanced knowledge of the danger and plenty of resources to handle the situation appropriately. For millennials and younger generations, there's no such thing as the good old days. We never experienced them. We'll cover that topic more thoroughly in a future video.
There
But in
isn't
this
the
week's
good old
episode,
days.
we're going to examine why the US seems to be completely incapable of handling crises. Now, this video could easily be over an hour long. The past few decades have seen an alarming acceleration in crisis mismanagement, and it would take way too long to cover them all. We're just going to focus on a handful of them. Before we get to the big ones, let's start with a very American problem: obesity. At first glance, you wouldn't necessarily think to call obesity a crime. While severe, and it comes with a whole was known to cause heart. Why is the problem so much worse?
This video was brought to you by our book, Brexit the Colouring Book. Relive the entire timeline and support the channel by picking up our 3rd edition book. Get 25% off by using code BorisBiden and clicking the link below. So, as you might have seen, Boris Johnson's been in the US this week, hanging out with Biden in the White House. You might also have heard that the Department for International Trade are boasting 68 post-Brexit trade deals, although there are some caveats there. Anyway, it seems that these two things don't mix, because despite the government's best efforts and claims throughout the Brexit campaign, a deal between these two old allies isn't forthcoming, and may actually be getting less and less likely. So, as you might remember, back in 2016 during the Brexit campaign, Brexiteers would often argue that the UK will be better off outside the EU because it would have the freedom to sign its own trade deals, and especially a big trade deal with the US.
I think that being outside the customs union means that we can negotiate our own trade deals with other countries, not just economic superpowers like the United States, but also emerging markets and developing nations as well.
At the time, Obama poured cold water on the idea, famously intervening in the Brexit debate to warn that a Brexit Britain would be at the back of the queue when it came to any UK-US trade deals.
Maybe some point down the line there might be a UK-US trade agreement, but it's not going to happen anytime soon because our focus is in negotiating with a big bloc, the European Union, to get a trade agreement done. And UK is going to be in the back of the queue.
Fortunately for Brexiteers, though, Trump was a lot keener on the idea, insisting that a UK-US trade deal would be fantastic and big. With Trump in office, Johnson even went as far as claiming that the UK would now be the first in line.
We hear that we're first in line to do a great free trade deal with the United States.
But while the two sides did start preliminary negotiations, nothing was agreed in Trump's 4 years. Anyway, despite his best efforts, Trump has now been replaced by Biden, who's apparently not as keen on a US-UK deal as his predecessor. This isn't a complete surprise, because before he entered office, Biden made it clear that he wasn't a big fan of Brexit, especially because of its impact on Ireland, where he has familial links. So Biden was always going to make negotiations at least a bit trickier, and this was made explicit on Tuesday, when Boris Johnson met Joe Biden in the White House. And while they were there, Biden said that they would only be able to talk about trade a little bit, and would have to be worked through. The same day, Johnson even suggested that a UK-US trade deal wasn't forthcoming, admitting that Biden has a lot on his plate, and trade deals therefore aren't a priority. Obviously, this was perceived as a bit of an embarrassment for the government, who previously staked quite a lot on a post-Brexit UK-US trade deal. In fact, the UK's insistence during the Brexit negotiations with the EU that they should be able to diverge from the union's regulatory regime was at least partly motivated by the promise of a future UK-US trade deal, which would require regulatory divergence from the EU standards on stuff like agri-foods, and specifically chlorinated chicken. Now, we're not trying to get into the whole chlorinated chicken debate here. We're just observing that chlorinated chicken is currently allowed in the US, but not in the EU. So if the UK wanted to align with US regulatory standards as part of some future trade deal, it would need to be able to diverge from their former EU partners. Anyway, in response to the bad press, the UK
I'm going to
government
dislike
insisted
every
that
single
while
one
the
of them.
trade deal wasn't on the table, the UK could do two things instead. Firstly, the government were planning on making incremental improvements to US-UK trade. For example, in 2019, Trump slapped a 25% tariff on exports of whiskey from the UK to the US, which Biden now finally lifted in June of this year. Additionally, on Wednesday, the day after the meeting with Biden, Johnson announced that the US had lifted their 32-year ban on the export of British beef, introduced in 1989 after the outbreak of BSE in some British cows. So, clear progress for beef exporters, although not really anything to do with Brexit. Government sources also suggested that the UK was considering applying to the USMCA instead of negotiating a bilateral deal with the US. The USMCA, which stands for the United States, Mexico, Canada Agreement, is a trade deal between, yep, you guessed it, the United States, Mexico, and Canada. It is a bit weird that the UK is apparently considering an application, because, well, the UK isn't in North America. But this hasn't stopped the UK before, because in February, the UK formally applied to the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, otherwise known as CPTPP. As the name suggests, the CPTPP is a trade agreement between 11 countries, mostly around the Pacific Ocean. Undeterred by geography, the UK nonetheless is applying to be the CPTPP's first non-founding country. So it seems that the UK won't be deterred by geography when it comes to North America either. But the USMCA isn't actually a great fit for the UK, because the deal only covers goods, not services. And, well, the UK's biggest exports are services, which is why joining the USMCA would only add an estimated 0.1% to the UK's GDP. It's also not obvious that joining the USMCA would actually be much easier than a bilateral trade agreement just with the US, because you'd still need the US to sign off on it, as well as Canada and Mexico. Add to that all of the politically controversial stuff we mentioned earlier, like agri-food standards and chlorinated chicken, because those would still need to be worked out. This is probably why on Wednesday evening, the day after the briefing, the government backtracked, with the Prime Minister's official spokesman insisting that the UK was focused on a US deal, with no plans beyond that. So what does this all mean? Is the US trade deal off the table? And is this a failure for Johnson and his Brexit government? Well, a US trade deal does look increasingly unlikely, for the reasons we've outlined. Firstly, Biden is pretty busy at the moment, and with US-China relations still worsening, it looks like he'll be busy for a while to come. Secondly, Biden's sensitive to the peace process in Northern Ireland, so any trade deal will still have to maintain Irish political stability, which makes it a bit harder to work out. And thirdly, the US trade deal has become politically controversial in the UK, with endless arguments about chlorinated chicken and US pharma companies privatising the NHS. All in all, a comprehensive US-UK trade deal is looking unlikely at the moment, but this probably shouldn't be held against the government too much. Sure, Johnson and other Brexiteers were definitely overconfident when it came to the prospects of a UK-US trade deal, but even America's closest allies wouldn't expect to be able to wangle a deal while Biden's got all of these other things on his plate, including what might be the most volatile geopolitical situation since the Cold War. But what do you think will happen next? Will the US-UK deal ever emerge? Comment your thoughts below, or head to our TLDR UK Twitter account to have your say in our poll, and you should drop us a follow while you're there. Like I said at the start of the video, if you want to support the channel, then please check out our 3rd edition Brexit the Colouring book, which takes you through the whole process from the referendum to the UK-EU trade deal. Even if you're not a colouring person, you can still enjoy the summary written by the TLDR team, the illustrations, the exclusive never-released TLDR video, and the knowledge that you've helped us out a bit. The link to the store is down below, and you can use code BorisBiden for 25% off. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified every time we release a new video. Special thanks to our Patreon backers who make videos like this one possible, and if you want to see your name at the end of videos, then you too can back us on Patreon.
Grab some target practice while you can. We're deploying soon. Enough practice. Time for the real thing. Battle Royale. Alright, soldier. Mark a drop point for your team. Gas is closing on your position.
Prep for
Suggest you
jump.
get moving.
LZ is marked.
Moving! Have eyes on. Your primary objective is to kill them all. Tango. KIA, it's up to you now.
So, hostiles here.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
I'm under fire.
Tango, take that out. It's all up to you now. Go for the win.
Mother's a war.
Have eyes on. Got movement. Get in there now.
Get into the area. You're all that's left. Get it done. Enemy UAV overhead. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. They're losing ground. Enemy UAV overhead. I'm hit. I'm hit. Check your gear and weapons. Planes are making ready for deployment. Enemy soldier incoming. Enough practice. Time for the real thing.
If it doesn't work in Asian servers, I'll switch to UK servers.
Check your gear and weapons. Planes are making ready for deployment. Playtime's over, mate. You're going to the war zone.
Yeah. I'm gonna do UK servers now. 20 different completed matches. It's a lot, bro. That's